The purpose of this presentation is to explain how internal assessment marks are to be entered. The Careers application allows schools to enter marks obtained by students during internal assessments, which will be added to the marks secured by them during the board examinations. Internal assessment marks for ICSE students can be entered by a school staff member and submitted to the principal for review and for forwarding to the council. To enter the marks obtained by the students during internal assessment, the staff member should carry out the following steps. First, log in to the Careers application using the staff member's login ID. In the screen, click on the Examination System tile. Move the mouse over the ICSE tab in the top menu bar. This will display the Internal Assessment Marks link. Click on the Internal Assessment Marks link. This will open a new screen showing the various subjects for which the internal marks are to be assigned. The screen will show the subject, paper, assessment type, status, and the next action. To add the internal assessment marks for a particular subject, click on the subject or on the Enter Marks button under the Next Action column. This will open a new screen showing names and unique ID of the candidates appearing for the ICSE examination from your school in that subject, as well as the maximum internal assessment marks that can be awarded to a student for that subject. This screen has two views, pending and completed. The pending view will display candidates for whom award of internal assessment marks is pending. The completed view will display candidates who have been awarded internal assessment marks. By default, it will be the pending view that opens. The screen has a pagination feature, allowing you to set the number of records you want displayed per page. You can navigate through the pages using the forward and backward arrows or by clicking on the page number. Against each candidate's name, there is a text box provided where the internal assessment marks can be entered. Against each candidate's name, there is also a checkbox to indicate if a student was absent at the time of internal assessment. If the absent checkbox is checked, the internal assessment marks text box will be disabled and you will not be able to enter any marks there. If, however, you enter the marks and then check the absent checkbox, a confirmation message will appear requiring you to confirm the absent entry. On confirmation, the marks entered will be deleted. If you try to enter more than maximum marks permissible for a given subject, an error message will pop up stating that the marks you have entered exceeds the maximum permissible limit. Wherever numerical values are to be entered, if you try to enter grades, a warning message will pop up asking you to enter numerical values. Similarly, where grades are to be entered, if you try to enter numerical values, a warning message will pop up. If 0 is awarded as the internal assessment mark for a candidate, a message will pop up warning you that you are awarding 0 mark to the candidate. Click OK to proceed. At the bottom right of the screen, there are two buttons. One is the back to list button. Click on this button if you want to go back to the previous screen. At the bottom left of the screen, there is a disclaimer checkbox. Once you have finished entering the internal assessment marks, check the disclaimer checkbox to certify that you have entered the marks correctly. Now, click on the Save button at the bottom right of the screen. If you click on the Save button without checking the disclaimer checkbox, an error message will pop up. On clicking the Save button, the names of the candidates who have been awarded internal assessment marks will be moved to the completed list and will be displayed in the completed view. If the screen does not get populated with the list of candidates who have been awarded internal assessment marks, click on the refresh icon at the bottom right of the screen. From the screen, you can modify the marks awarded earlier, but then you will once again have to check the disclaimer checkbox and click on the Save button. The completed view screen has 3 buttons at the bottom right instead of the 2 seen in the pending view screen. The new button is the Print Preview button. Clicking the Print Preview button will open a new screen displaying the list of students for whom internal assessment marks have been awarded. You can print the details by clicking on the print icon. When all the students for a particular subject have been awarded the internal assessment marks, the status will turn to completed and the next action column will show Submit for Review. Click on the Submit for Review button. The status now will turn to Review Pending. The action now moves to the principal. Principal Review. To complete the process of awarding internal assessment marks, the principal must carry out the following steps. Use the principal's login ID and password to log in to the careers application and click on the examination system type. In the screen that opens, move the mouse over the ICSE tab in the top menu bar. This will display the internal assessment marks link. Click on the internal assessment marks link. This will open a new screen showing the various subjects for which the internal marks are to be assigned. The screen will show the subject, paper, assessment type, status, and next action. The status of subjects for which marks have been entered by the staff member will show Review Pending. Click on either the subject for which the principal review is pending or on the Review button against it. This opens a new screen which displays the internal assessment mark assigned to each student for that subject. The screen has two views, Review Pending and Review Completed. By default, it will be the Review Pending view that opens. The principal can only view the marks and not edit. The principal must review the marks awarded to each student. He can then either check the individual checkboxes against each student or he can check the Review All checkbox at the top, which will automatically check all the checkboxes against the students. Check the disclaimer checkbox at the bottom left of the screen to certify that you have entered the marks correctly. Click on the Review and Save button at the bottom right of the screen. On clicking the Review and Save button, the names of the candidates whose marks have been reviewed will be displayed in the Review Completed view. If the screen does not get populated, click on the refresh icon at the bottom right of the screen. Here also you have a print preview button, clicking which will allow you to view and print the details. After reviewing the entire list of candidates for a particular subject, click on Back to List button to return to the previous screen. The status of that subject will now have changed to Review Completed. The next action column will show Submit to CICE against that subject. Click on Submit to CICE button. A warning message will now appear asking you whether you have checked all the marks and are sure that they have been correctly entered. Click OK. The status will now turn to Submitted to CICE and the council will be able to add the internal assessment marks to the final marks tally of each student. Thank you.